Hare Krishna everyone. Hope you had a lovely day. Welcome to Soma Vedic Astrology channel. Today we will discuss about the placement 7th lord in the second house. What do you mean by the Lord of the House in Vedic astrology? Now, each planet has got a responsibility of handling either one or two houses. So, this planets become the Lord of those houses. Now, look at this table to see which planet is the Lord of which zodiac sign. So, if you see this table, Mars is the Lord of two zodiac signs, which is Aries and Scorpio. Venus is the lord of two zodiac signs, Taurus and Libra. So, in this way, each of the planet has gotten a department to handle either one or two zodiac signs. Now let us try to understand that with an example. Now for example, if in your chart third lord is in the fourth house, so how you conclude whether third lord is in fourth house? So if you see, this is the first house where 12 is written, this is the second house where 1 is written, and this is the third house where 2 is written. Now what is 2? If we have a look at the table, then 2 is nothing but the Taurus zodiac sign. And who is the lord of Taurus zodiac sign? It is Venus. Okay, so what you will say then, lord of the third house is Venus. Okay, because it is the lord of the Taurus zodiac sign. And but where is Venus placed? Now Venus is placed in the fourth house of the birth chart. So this is how you will conclude that third lord is in the fourth house. So today we will check the placement 7th lord in the second house, but before that I have already made detailed videos on what all things can we see from the second house as well as from the 7th house. Please go and check that out before proceeding with this video. Also, a small disclaimer. Please note that this is a general prediction depending only on the placement of a lord in a specific house. Accurate results will only come after considering the zodiac sign, planets, dignity of the planets, retrogression, combustion, aspects, nakshatra, ascendant, shadbal, conjunction, and your running time period, which is Mahadasha, Antardasha, etc. Now, seventh lord is going eight places away and sitting in the second house. So, as we know, eight places away always brings some kind of transformation, some kinds of ups and downs in life. So, spouse is coming in your life to transform your life. It can be in a good way or in a bad way. It depends on the dignity and lot of other things. But one thing is certain with this placement, that some transformation after entering into the marital union is definitely going to happen. Now, seventh house is the part of the Kama Trikon, okay, and second house is the part of the Artha Trikon. Kama means desire, and Artha means wealth. So, what is your desire? Your desire of the, this marital union is linked to gaining the familial security, to gain the financial security, to improve your financial condition, and it is also linked with sensuality because with this placement native has a sensual nature. Now both second house as well as the seventh house are called as the marka houses. So this is a tricky placement, okay, because your spouse is going and sitting into a marka house. So if it is not well placed, then it can show early separation or loss of the spouse. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house is the house of finance, food, family. Now if in this union there is a, if there is a, obviously every marital union has some points of, contentions, quarrels, some pointers on which every time regular fights do happen. So with this placement, the possibility of conflicts and quarrels can be mostly related to, how one manages his or own wealth, how, what is the type of food one is eating, whether it is, addictive, or let's say someone is eating a lot of sugary food. So any kind of food habit related quarrels, interference of the family in your marriage, in the decision making between your union, or when you as a couple is trying to do a family planning. So during that time, some um you know uh, possibility of conflicts and quarrels can occur. So it could be related to any of these topics. Now seventh lord shows spouse. It is also a natural house of Venus in the Kal Purush Kundali, and second house shows family. So possibility of having girl child is more with this placement, because the natural Venus is going and sitting in the second house. So a female, a Lakshmi, is coming to your family. Now, seventh lord shows spouse and second house shows family. So, attempting of, finding a spouse with this placement is not going to be smooth one, because it is going 8 places away. So, some form of sudden events or something, which is not which doesn't happen normally, is quite likely to happen whenever, if there's a matchmaking which is going on in this process. One relation is possibly can break. Okay, it could be a normal relation, or it could be from the engagement. Any first relation is difficult to survive with this. Maybe because, again, because it is going 8 places away, so 8 places away always show some form of secrets or some scandals which happen at the last moment. There is some transformative event which is happening, due to which your requirement is totally upside down. Maybe first you wanted, you had a desire to have a very materialistic spouse, and then, when this marriage time is coming, before that you just have some form of transformative event, and suddenly your requirements with what you look for in a spouse suddenly changes. It could be vice versa as well, depends on a lot of other things. So possibility of breakage due to some information which was kept hidden, or also possible due to the astrological reasons, because matchmaking is not possible, maybe due to the mismatch between the both, due to the astrological kundli, etc. So any of it is possible, but the next one will definitely work. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house is the house of second marriage, because second marriage is what we see from 8 places away from the seventh house. So, if this lord is not placed well, then possibility of multiple marriages is there. Either like it is multiple marriage, or at least one long term relationship, and after that you have a marriage. So two relationship or two marriages is possible with this placement. Now seventh lord shows spouse, and second house is the house of second marriage. So if this placement is unafflicted, and there is a chance of entering into a second marriage, we need to see lot of other things for that. but if that is happening, then second marriage or second relationship could be more better compared to your previous one. Second one could give you more marital bliss. You keep, because it is also possible that the second one happens maybe majorly after your Saturn return, where you are always already mature, you have already seen the goods and bads from the first one, so you are better equipped to deal with the second marriage or the second relationship, the long term relationship that you have. Now, seventh lord shows spouse. It also shows other people because it is opposite of the first house, and first house shows self. So seventh house shows other people. So second house is shows your family. So what is happening with this? Other people are entering your family. So there is, what does this mean? So like which whenever this marital union is taking place, where this is, there is a possibility that this relationship is something which is very maybe unusual in nature, or the marriage is unusual. This unusuality is in the sense, or is in the eyes of the general public, that general public is not maybe able to digest this kind of relationship. It, other people are coming to your family, means other people are coming and talking about this relationship, or gossiping about it, about your family, about this marriage. Why? Because second house is also the house which shows speech, it shows voice, and second house shows family. So other people are gossiping about this relationship, about the family, about this union. Now it could be for any things, because it is going eight places away. So if it is well placed, possibility that maybe you were from, or let's say I'm just giving some examples, just don't take it on face value, we need to see a lot of things. So let's say example could be you, a person who was very poor in background, and then he or she gets a suddenly a very um you know um um the, what do you say, invitation of the marriage, let's say from a very well-to-do family. So there is a sudden transformation which is going to happen in the life of that poor person, because his or her financial status is going to get upgraded after entering into the relationship. So this is definitely something which you can consider it as unusual in the eyes of general public, because the general public is not able to digest basically that how this person can get a person like that. So something, this is just an example, something of such sort, where some unusuality will be there, maybe not in the financial terms, but some other things is also possible. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows second marriage. So, if, as we discussed already, if it is badly placed with afflictions, multiple relationship is possible, or there is a possibility of two timing as well. Okay, let's say one secret already married partner, along with that, your own married partner, or a secret relationship. So, this all is possible. Again, just don't jump to any conclusions. We have to see lot of other things before making a final decision. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows family. So, what does this show? That spouse is entering your family. So, pause, and it is also going eight places away. So, possibility of spouse, your potential spouse, entering into your life or re-entering into your life is, most probably it would happen when either you or your family is going from some crisis situation or some traumatic situation. Now it could be anything, it could be maybe sudden, your family is, let's say hit with some sudden financial crisis, medical crisis, any form of crisis event which is happening. The potential is there that, your potential spouse could enter or re-enter into your life during that time. Now seventh lord shows other people, and second house shows family. So as we already discussed that many people are coming towards your family, so with this placement it is also possible that this union is making a lot of people talk about it. So there is a possibility that some people will come and will try to influence your family. They will try to give certain opinions or suggestions, or anything. Now it, whether it is bad or good, that is up to the other things that we need to see in the chart, but this is definitely there. Other people's interference, their thought process being told to your family due to this uh, marriage union is quite possible. So you can, let's say, you can take it in a sense that, let's say, especially in India, where I think things are improving, but some places also this caste and religion based marriages, like they look for the same caste, same culture, etc. So let's say now here there is some form of transformation which is happening. So possible that if somebody, if that things is favorable in the chart, if one is marrying out of their caste or culture marriage, then what you can say, many people are coming towards your family to explain them what is good and bad with regarding to this marriage, whether it is acceptable or not, etc, etc. Okay, this is just an example. Okay, don't take it on face value, we need to see other things as well. Now seventh lord shows spouse and second house shows family. So this, there is also possible that possibility of you and your spouse living separately for long time, either due to his or her work commitments or other commitments. All this is possible, especially when the dasha is getting activated. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house, as we discussed, is 8 places away. So, if it is badly placed, okay, it is written that spouse could be in wicked in nature, possibility of separation of your spouse and kids is possible. Now it could be for any reasons, especially when this time period is activated. Just don't go and look for the worst case scenario. It could be also possible that spouse has to go for work commitments, kids has to go for college. So that is the reason there is a separation. We need to see many details to see what kind, how it is going to unfold. Okay, the dasha sequence also becomes a very important thing here. Now if now if let's say, if we consider the worst case scenario, then obviously separation in the form of divorce is also possible between the spouse and the kids. And spouse then, might be able, also be able to enter into another relation post the separation. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house is the house of throat, voice. So, what does this show? Your spouse is very communicative. He has the interest in talking. He likes to talk. He has gifted voice. He has that thing where people wants to also hear him, because he is generally talkative in nature. And depending on which planet is sitting as the seventh lord in the second, that type of artistic communication ability skills would be something which will be possessed by your spouse. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows what you value in life, what is worth in your life. So, your spouse is coming into your life so that you can realize your self worth. Maybe before the marriage, you were, maybe let's say, little less confident, or you were underselling yourself in the work, or you are undervaluing yourself, and you're not able to do what you really want to do. But maybe after marriage, your spouse is coming and is explaining you that you are worth more than this that you're doing. You will be, like, you will realize your forgotten hidden powers, the inner talents that you already had. You will realize your self-worth, because spouse is coming to show you your self-worth. Now, whether it will be like plainly talking and explaining you about that, that is a best case scenario. In the worst case scenario could be that, there is some certain transformative event that is happening after your marriage, wherein you have to go through those pain and misery and everything, and then you finally realize that I don't deserve this, this is what is better for me. So there is, best to worst thing is there. We need to see what turns out, depending on lot of other factors. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows voice, family. So, if now seventh lord is, if it is badly placed in the second house of, communication and voice, speech, talking, then if it is badly placed, then spouse could have a very quarreling or conflicting or argumentative nature in the family after marriage. Now, seventh lord shows of some form of foreign element, and second house shows your accumulated wealth. So, with this placement, possibility of earning from foreign lands, if not foreign lands, some form of foreign sources is definitely there. Or you can also move away from the place of your birth in the same country. From there, also, you can prosper in terms of earning wealth. Now, seventh lord shows business, and second house shows family. So, with this placement, it is also possible of marrying one's own business partner. This is just a possibility. Seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows food, finance, family. So, spouse might work in any of this industry. It could be food related industry, the FMCG sector, all those kind of food related sectors, maybe banking, finance related industries. Or spouse could be working in a business or a family business, in the education industry, or in the industry where his or her voice or speech is playing a very key role, possibly in the beauty industry or industry which has those women related products. Again, which of it, for that we need to see which planet, sign, nakshatra, lot of things we need to see. But these are the possible things which we can come out based on the singular placement. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows what you value. So, you definitely value your spouse, you value your relationship. It is not something which you are taking lightly. You are someone who is going to work on this if things are not turning out better, or things are going bad. You are someone who is not going to leave it as it is, because you value this relationship. So, you are going to put all your efforts to make it work. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows family. So, what is this showing? Your spouse is coming in the house of your family. So, possibility of your spouse living with your family is also there when this dasha is activated. This is irrespective of the gender. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows family. So, again, in the terms of the marital bliss, if we have to talk, you should understand this seventh house, like seventh lord, is going eight places away. So, in this marital union that is happening, there is going to be sudden ups, sudden downs, challenges, obstacles, all that you can troubling situations which you can expect. All this will come as a test or a challenge to the union. Okay, all this is going to come again, depending on how strongly you support each other, how much desire you both have to hold the marriage together, support each other in the difficult times. All these things, your support to each other is going to, decide whether this union will come out successfully from the sudden upheavals in your life or not. So marital bliss is depending on you both guys, whether one is able to go through this roller coaster ride successfully or not. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows value systems, one's traditions, ethics. So, you definitely desire a good spouse with good traditional values, who is moral, who has some ethics, who has good family values. So, you want a spouse with good values. Now, seventh lord shows spouse and second house shows family. So, again, with this placement, you can also see that your spouse is definitely going to make sure that he or she works hard enough so that he or she can provide for you. For the partner as well as for the partner's family financially, give the stability, to give the security in all these terms. Seventh lord shows spouse, and second house is 8 places away. So possibility of you getting a complete new identity post marriage is possible. Maybe before marriage you are a person of like certain qualities, and after marriage all your your identity is completely changed. When people are coming to meet you after your marriage, they are stunned by seeing you. Their comments will be, oh my god, you looked totally changed, are you the same person? So this kind of situation is quite likely possible. Now, seventh lord shows marriage and second house shows food. Again, with this placement, there is a transformation in the food habits post marriage. Maybe in your earlier family, in your native family, there was certain different dietary habits, food habits, and after marriage, you go, the food habits and dietary habits is totally different. So these kind of situation is also possible. Now, second lord shows spouse and second house is food. Okay, so what this shows, that your spouse is someone who definitely likes to eat various food cuisines, who likes to go to restaurants, try different dishes, who all, sometimes some of them also like to cook. Now, second lord shows, it is a Marak lord, seventh lord, and second house shows sensory organs. So, if it is badly placed, then health related issues related to any of the sensory organ, related to eye, face, maybe as simple as it could be, is like face pimples on the face, depending on the planet. Again, not every planet is going to give you that. Then maybe speech issues, stammering, food poisoning. So depending on which planet, we can judge more on this. Now, seventh lord shows spouse and second house shows family. So again, as we had discussed this, if it is badly placed, it has afflictions and sitting in the dual sign, then there is a possibility of multiple marriages is very high. Now, second lord shows spouse and second house shows accumulated wealth. So, your spouse is sitting on a treasure box, your spouse is sitting on the accumulated wealth. So, what does this show? That if it is well placed and good dignity, then definitely your spouse is somebody who is wealthy, who has a very well off family background, family is rich, wealthy, etc. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows family, food, finance. So, where could you meet your potential spouse? Again, we need to see planet dignity, all those things. But with this one placement, what we can predict that where you can meet your potential spouse, it could be this is also kind of a arranged marriage setup. With this placement is also possible. So maybe a arranged setup from the contacts of your immediate family or relatives is possible, or in the traditional ceremonies that happens, maybe some kind of ritual or marriage, or some kind of traditional ceremonies in which you meet your potential spouse, maybe in the banks or in any financial place or in the restaurant, food related places, or in the educational institutions, especially since childhood, because a second house shows pre primary kindergarten education, so childhood love possible. And as already I mentioned, anyone you know since childhood, or in the home or the environment where you are living in your childhood. So any of this is possible for meeting your potential spouse. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows family. So, what does this show? That your spouse is someone who is definitely attached to your immediate family. Your immediate family might like your spouse more than you. Obviously, I'm telling it in a fun way. Maybe in the sense that your immediate family is more cognizant to what your spouse likes, dislikes. So, whenever he's coming, all the cuisines and food, everything is made as per his or her taste. So in this way, they are your immediate family also is very much attached to your spouse, more than you in fact. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows finance, family. So, you desire, okay, what is your desire? You definitely desire to have a financially well off spouse who can provide for your family and your future family, which you will be starting with your spouse. So, you desire with this placement that the financial aspect becomes a key uh, thing which one sees with this placement. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows family. So, if it is badly placed with afflictions, then some health issues, because second house is also a marak house. So, some chronic related health issues or separations from the spouse, early losing of spouse, widowhood. So, all this is also possible, but don't jump to conclusions. We have to do the detailed chart analysis, then only we can be very conclusive in this aspect. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows second marriage. Okay, so what does it show? The native has sensual nature. Now, seventh lord shows partnerships, business, and second house shows accumulated wealth. So, if it is well placed, this combination, so this combination is also a business placement. So, it is good for you to do either partnership business. We need to see dignity and everything. If it is good, then only enter into a partnership business, or you can also just do general business by your own. Okay, if it is in good dignity, then successful businesses indicated. Now, business related to what? For that we need to see planets, zodiac sign, all the other things. Okay, now again with this placement, as we already discussed, seventh house shows other people. So other people's wealth, you're sitting on other people's wealth, you have accumulated other people wealth. Why will other people give you wealth? Because you are giving either some service to them or some products to them. So that is why this is a business placement, where the trading, give and take of services vis-a-vis money, wealth, etc. is there. Now, seventh lord shows partnerships, and second house shows accumulated wealth. So, again, if this is very badly placed with lot of afflictions, it could possibly also show the business in the flesh trade, prostitution, etc. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows family traditions, the value system. So, if it is well placed, it shows that your spouse is coming from a very good ancestral lineage, possibly ancestral lineage, or the forefathers of the spouse were very well known for whatever work they must have done in their time. So, the ancestral lineage is good with this placement if it is well placed. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows accumulated wealth. So, if this is a well placed, placement, so what does this show? That spouse is coming into your life to bring wealth to you. You are the one who is going to gain financially from the marriage. Why? Because there will be improvement in your financial condition, there will be improvement in your status. People who might have ignored you for before your marriage because you were nobody in their eyes. Okay, one should never consider themselves as nobody, but maybe the other people perception was like that. But as they see that this marital union has happened, and suddenly you are marrying a rich spouse, you're gaining from it, your financial condition is improved, your status is improved, then the other people's point of view to look at you might change if this is well placed. If it is badly placed, you can just do vice versa. Now, seventh lord shows spouse, and second house shows family. So, as we discussed, your spouse is someone who is linked to the family. So, possibility of a arranged setup of marriage is a little high in this situation. Again, we need to see more details. Just don't jump to any conclusions with just one by just seeing one placement. Seventh lord shows spouse, and second house is the house of food, restaurant. So, till now, as we already discussed, it is this marriage is going to be like a roller coaster ride. There will be ups and downs in the marriage. So, to make this marriage work, one has to not forget to go on the regular dates with spouse in the restaurant, to be more open and communicative, because second house also is the house of speech, voice. If one sees some kind of family interference, possibly for certain amount of time you could shift away from family and see if it works. So all these things you can do to make the marriage work. Now, seventh lord sitting in the second house gives its seventh aspect on the eighth house of sudden gain. So, again, if this is well placed, you can also gain inheritance and everything from the in laws or insurance claims, or in general, sudden speculative gains is also possible. I will in future make separate videos with different type of planet as the seventh lord in the second house. If you have this placement in your chart, please do mention your experiences in the comments section. I hope you guys must have liked the video. Please do not forget to subscribe the channel. Also, please do let me know in the comments section below what more videos would you like to see? Thank you.